a ring of fire solar eclipse will be partially visible in our skies tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been telling you about the annular eclipse all week long. And joining us now this morning to tell us more details, Patrick Hartigan, astrophysicist at Rice University. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're going to start off by asking you to tell people, what are we looking at tomorrow? What do we expect to see in the sky here in Houston?
Yeah, well, here in Houston, what you will see is that starting at about 10:30 or so, the moon will begin to cut across the sun. And then by about noon, it will obscure about 85% of the total disk. And then the whole entire thing will be done by about 1:30 or so, 1:37.
Patrick, I know we've been talking about protection, a lot about protection, protecting your eyes while looking at the sky. What advice do you have to further that advice?
Okay, so there's essentially, it's a very important thing to bring up because you can and will go blind if you stare at the sun, especially if you do so looking through a telescope. But there's two easy ways to kind of get around that, and one of them is you can get one of these very stylish eclipse glasses. These things seem to be everywhere now. I saw some at Home Depot near the ant bait a couple days ago. And so it's perfectly fine to just put those on and look directly at the sun if you have one of those eclipse glasses. The other thing that you can do, though, if you don't have that, is you can do this. You can make a box and take a cardboard box and just poke a hole in it like this. And then you get a piece of paper, a white piece of paper, and you basically project the solar image onto the piece of paper. And that's a great way for kids to see it, and it's a perfectly safe thing to do. And you should be able to see kind of like little, you'll be able to see the little bite which the moon takes out of the sun as it cuts across.
Yeah, I imagine that's what kids across Houston are making in school today. I remember making them in school myself. This is going to be, it's really an event that doesn't come around that long. So when would the next time be that somebody could see such an eclipse?
Well, we have a really important eclipse, which is a total eclipse, which is coming up in April. And that will be cutting across a little bit to the west of us, kind of goes through near Dallas and Austin and San Antonio. And the experience of a total eclipse is completely different from that of an annular. With an annular, the moon isn't big enough to actually block the entire sun. And so you will still see the sun along the edges. So that means at no time during an annular is it actually safe to look directly at the sun. Right. In fact, the experience that we have here in Houston tomorrow will be pretty similar to the experience you have in San Antonio and any place else that's actually in the annular path, because the amount of the light which is blocked is similar. But in any given point, actually seeing a total eclipse is very rare, actually. The last one that occurred in Houston was October 17th, 1259. And the next one will be April 14th, the year 2200. There was a kind of a close one in 1878 that just missed us. So in any given location, total eclipses are very rare. But tomorrow we just get an annular. But that's still pretty interesting, because if you go out at noon, you are going to feel that the sun is much cooler. And the character of the light is going to be odd. It's going to be, it feels almost kind of dead, like you're inside of a terrarium or something. And that's because you're only seeing the light kind of from the edge of the sun. And, you know, it's an interesting experience. Clouds will begin to dissipate like they do at sunset. It'll feel kind of eerie around noon tomorrow.
Eerie indeed. Imagine if this eclipse happened today on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Very spooky.
Love that it's happening in October for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
If it was Friday the 13th, then I guess you'd need two of these or something.
Right. You're right. Exactly. Patrick Hartigan with Rice University. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.